30,000 plus layoffs at Amazon, 3,200 plus at Microsoft, 400 plus at Meta. Seattle hears tech layoffs and people immediately jump to housing market crash. That's lazy thinking. Today I'm going to show you what's actually happening, what the data says, which neighborhoods feel it first, and what you should do if you work in tech or you're relocating here right now. I'm Kenny Pleasant. I help tech workers buy, sell, and relocate to Seattle. Over the past few months, my phone has been ringing with 3 types of calls. Call number 1, Kenny, I just got laid off from Amazon. Should I sell my house? Call number 2, I'm still employed, but half my team got cut. Should I hold off on buying? Call number 3, I'm relocating to Seattle for a tech job and my family thinks I'm insane. What's really happening there? So in this video, you're going to learn 3 things. What layoffs really do to housing demand, why layoffs do not automatically create a flood of listings, and how to buy or sell smart if you're working in tech or relocating here right now. Let's start with the layoffs themselves because the raw numbers are scary. Amazon, 30,000 plus employees between October 2025 and January 2026. The biggest layoffs in company history, hitting corporate roles, AWS, and some engineering. Microsoft, 3,200 plus in Washington State, multiple rounds over the past year, including subsidiaries like Expedia. Meta, 400 plus in Washington, mostly in the Reality Labs division. Combined, we're talking about 35,000 plus tech jobs lost in the Seattle metro over 12 months. That's massive. First, let me say this. 35,000 people losing their jobs is not a statistic. It's 35,000 families dealing with real stress, real uncertainty, real fear. I'm not in the tech industry myself, so I'm not going to minimize what that experience is like. But what I can do is give you the objective view of what this means for the housing market. These layoffs are a part of a broader tech correction after the pandemic hiring surge. Companies overhired for a remote work world that didn't fully materialize, and now they're reallocating towards higher growth areas like AI. From a housing perspective, this is not the death of Seattle tech. It's a restructuring, and that distinction changes everything about how we interpret what's happening in the real estate market. Now let's connect the layoffs to the housing market. We did see a big cool down in King County coinciding with these layoffs. Median price dropped from the $1.5 million peak in early 2025. Sales volume fell about 60%. Inventory spiked. Months of supply rose towards balance. That's real. Prices corrected. Activity slowed. Supply rose. That's what we'd expect when a major economic sector, tech, goes through a contraction. But here's the key question. Did the layoffs cause a crash, or did they accelerate a correction that was already happening because of high interest rates and stretched affordability? Here's the biggest reason we're not seeing a wave of panic selling from laid off tech workers: the mortgage lock-in effect, what economists are calling the golden handcuffs. People who bought or refinanced at 2.5% to 3% rates during the pandemic do not want to sell and take on a new mortgage at 6.5% to 7%. Their payment will literally double. So even if you get laid off, if you can cover your mortgage payment for 12 to 18 months while you search for your next role, you're holding. And here's the thing about tech workers that's different from 2008. They have cushion. I worked with several laid off tech workers over the past few months. You know what every single one has? 3 to 6 months of severance pay, vested stock options worth $200,000 to $500,000, savings accounts with $50,000 to $200,000, and unemployment benefits on top of severance. Real example, Amazon engineer laid off in November. His severance package plus vested stock was worth over $300,000. He's not panic selling his Redmond townhouse with the 2.5% mortgage. He's taken 3 to 4 months to decompress, then he'll start his job search. And he can cover his $3,200 a month mortgage for 18 plus months on savings alone. This is fundamentally different from 2008, where people lost their jobs and immediately faced foreclosure because they had adjustable rate mortgages resetting or loans they couldn't afford in the first place. Now here's another critical piece most people miss. Who got laid off matters. The majority of these 35,000 cuts were not senior engineers making $500,000 total comp who are buying $1.5 million houses in Queen Anne. A lot of these cuts hit HR and recruiting, massive overhiring during pandemic, middle management and program managers, non-technical roles, contract workers, and vendors. Meanwhile, hiring is still happening for AI and machine learning engineers, 400,000 plus packages, cloud architects, data scientists, senior software engineers, and specialized skills. Amazon still employs 75,000 plus people in Seattle after the layoffs. Microsoft still has 50,000 plus in the region. Google, Meta, Salesforce, Oracle, Adobe, all still here with thousands of employees. These layoffs represent about 3 to 4% of total tech employment in King County. Significant, yes. The death of Seattle tech? No. Now, the layoffs are affecting different neighborhoods differently. Let me break this down. South Lake Union and downtown Seattle, Amazon HQ territory. This is ground zero. And yes, there's impact. Rental inventory is up, some condo listings from people relocating out of state, less competition for apartments. But here's what's not happening. No flood of single family sales. Why? Because the people who bought houses near South Lake Union aren't entry-level employees who got laid off. They're senior engineers and directors who are either still employed or financially secure enough to ride it out. The rental market is softening more than the ownership market here. Redmond and Bellevue, Microsoft country. Microsoft's layoffs were more surgical. Specific divisions, mostly non-core roles. The east side has cooled but not crashed. Homes taking 30 to 45 days to sell instead of 7 to 10. Sellers accepting offers at or slightly below asking, inventory up but not exploding. For example, a deal in Redmond, house listed at $1.2 million, sold for $1.15 after 35 days. 2 years ago, that same house would have had 10 offers and sold for $1.3 million in 4 days. It's normalization, not collapse. Queen Anne, Fremont, Capitol Hill, Ballard. These neighborhoods are more mixed. Some tech, some non-tech, some creative class. They're experiencing the broader market cooling, but aren't specifically layoff driven. Here's the pattern across all tech heavy areas. 10 to 15% more inventory than a year ago, 20 to 30% longer time on market, 5 to 10% price adjustments from 2025 peaks, but not free fall and not accelerating declines. Now I'm going to tell you something that real estate agents running around saying everything is fine won't tell you. The tech job market has changed. If you get laid off in 2026, finding your next comparable role is taking 4 to 6 months on average, sometimes longer. Why? Every tech company did layoffs, so there's a lot of talent competing. Hiring is concentrated in AI, ML, cloud, data science. If you're a generalist PM or recruiter, it's tougher. Companies are being more selective. So what does this mean for real estate? For some laid off workers with in-demand skills, 3 to 4 month gap, they land somewhere good, life continues. For others, maybe 20 to 30% of those laid off, it's a 6 to 12 month search. That's where financial pressure can build. But even in that scenario, most of these people have enough runway to avoid a distress sale. They'll tap savings, liquidate some stock, maybe rent out their home and move somewhere cheaper temporarily. Forced sales from laid off workers are happening, but they're rare. I've seen maybe 3 to 4 cases out of hundreds of transactions over the past year. All right, if you work in tech and you're buying in 2026, don't wing it. Here's the plan. Number 1, underwrite your life, not just a loan. Keep 6 to 9 months of reserves minimum. The tech job isn't what it was in 2021. Number 2, don't stretch to maximum payment unless your role is very stable. If you're in a hot area like AI, you got more security. If you're in a role that could be next on the cutting block, build in margin. Number 3, negotiate hard. This is not 2021. Get seller credits, get rate buy downs when it makes sense. I personally can help you structure deals that lower your effective payment significantly. And number 4, be honest about timeline. If your job situation is in flux, renting for 6 to 12 months can be the smartest financial move. Don't buy just because you think you're supposed to. Okay, if you're selling in 2026, the key is certainty. Price it like buyers have options, because they do. If you price based on early 2025 sale, you'll sit and eventually take less than if you priced it correctly on day one. Make the home feel easy, clean, updated, move-in ready. Buyers aren't in a forgiving mood right now. Expect negotiation, credit, repairs, rate buy downs help. Be ready to give something. And if you got laid off and you need to relocate for your next role, talk to me before you panic list. Sometimes renting it out for 12 to 24 months while you keep that low mortgage rate is smarter than selling in a cooled market. So here's what's actually happening with the tech layoffs. They cooled demand. They changed market psychology. They contributed to rebalancing, not collapse. We don't have forced selling, we don't have runaway inventory, we don't have panic. We have a market that's functioning more normally after years of irrational behavior. If you're relocating to Seattle and you want a straight answer on where to live based on your budget and commute, comment relocate below and tell me where you're moving from and your price range. I'll send you my relocation starter kit with the exact neighborhood breakdowns I use with my clients. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.